Once a year, an entire state throws open its doors for a king who lost. Not lost a war, not lost a battle, he lost everything. His kingdom, his throne, his crown, in under 60 seconds, tricked by a god in disguise. And yet, thousands of years later, 35 million people still decorate their homes for him, still cook a 26-dish feast for him, still race 120-foot wooden boats in his honor. Why would anyone celebrate a king who lost? Stay till the end, because the answer is the actual twist behind Onam. And once you hear it, you'll never see this festival the same way again. Here's the different side to the story which almost nobody tells you. Long ago, Kerala was ruled by King Mahabali, a demon king by birth, but by every account, the fairest ruler the land had ever known. Under him, there was no poverty, no lies, no crime. People didn't even lock their doors. It sounds like a fairy tale, because to the gods in heaven, it was the problem. A ruler this beloved, this powerful, made even the gods nervous. So Lord Vishnu came down, disguised as a humble dwarf priest, Vamana, and asked Mahabali for the smallest possible favor. Just 3 paces of land, measured by his own small feet. Mahabali laughed and agreed instantly. It was nothing to a king this generous. That was the trap. The dwarf grew and grew. One stride covered the entire earth. The second swallowed the sky. There was no land left for a third step. Now here's the part that actually matters. The part that turns this from a myth into the reason Onam exists at all. Mahabali did not run. He did not beg. He bowed his head and told Vishnu, "Place your final step here." He offered his own head as the ground for the third base. He lost his kingdom in that instant, but he won something no crown could buy: the eternal loyalty of his people, and a single wish granted by the very God who dethroned him, to return home once every year and see his people again. That return, that homecoming, is Onam. So when you see Kerala decorated wall to wall every August or September, understand what you're actually looking at. Not a festival for a winner. It's a festival for a king who chose his people over his own power, and his people wait to welcome him back home every year. Here's where it gets genuinely unique. For 10 straight days before Mahabali's arrival, families across Kerala step outside their homes and make something extraordinary at their doorsteps: the Pookalam, a floral carpet made entirely from fresh petals. No rulers, no stencils, no apps, no grids. It begins on day 1 with a single yellow circle at the dead center. It's called the Bindu, made from thamba petals, the seed from which the entire design will grow. The artists designing these use a technique called viral, literally measuring every petal, every ring, every span of symmetry, using nothing but the length of their own fingers. And yet, ring by ring, day by day, these designs expand into patterns that mathematicians recognize instantly: the golden ratio, the exact same proportion found in galaxy spirals and seashells. The one thing the human eye is hardwired to find: beautiful. Nobody in that courtyard studied Fibonacci. Their grandmothers taught them with flowers, not formulas. And somehow, generation after generation, without a single calculator, Kerala has been recreating one of universe's most elegant mathematical patterns using nothing but thamba, marigold and fingerlets. It's not just decoration. It's an unbroken 10-day math lesson hiding inside a welcome mat for a king. If the Pookalam is Kerala's welcome mat, the Onam Sadhya is the handshake. 26 dishes on a single banana leaf. Everyone, rich, poor, young, old, sitting cross-legged on the same floor, eating the same meal. In a land once ruled by a king who erased class and poverty. This shared floor seating isn't an accident. It's the whole point, still alive on a plate. The Sadhya is built around 6 tastes in perfect balance. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, astringent. But there's one dish that steals the spotlight every single year. Payasam. And this is where the science sneaks in. Traditional payasams like Ada Pradhamam are cooked for hours in a heavy brass vessel called an urli over a slow wood fire. That's not just old-fashioned charm. That's precision cooking. Brass conducts and spreads heat with almost perfect evenness, letting milk and jaggery undergo a slow Maillard reaction. The same browning chemistry that gives seared steak and toasted bread their depth, caramelizing the sugars gently instead of burning them. The urli's wide mouth lets steam escape fast, concentrating the payasam into something silky instead of watery. Grandmothers in Kerala have been running a controlled chemistry experiment in their kitchens for centuries. They just called it love, not the Maillard reaction. During Onam, Kerala's backwaters turn into a battlefield. Vallam Kali, the snake boat race. These aren't ordinary boats. Chundan vallams stretch up to 120 feet long, longer than a blue whale, carved from single native teak trunks into razor-thin hulls built to cut through water with almost no resistance. But here's what separates this from any other boat race on earth. The boat alone doesn't win. Timing does. Over 100 rowers dip their paddles into the river at the exact same fraction of a second. Do that and something remarkable happens. The boat stops fighting the water and starts lifting off it, skimming the surface at a speed no single powerful stroke could ever achieve alone. To hit that perfect unison, a helmsman stands in the center, beating rhythm and singing ancestral Vanjipattu both songs, using pure sound to lock over 100 separate bodies into one single synchronized heartbeat. It's not brute strength that wins these races. It's harmony. 100 individuals choosing stroke after stroke to move as one, which, if you think about it, is the exact same idea on which Mahabali built his entire kingdom. So, back to the question from the very beginning. Why does an entire state throw a 10-day festival for a king who lost? Here's the twist you've been waiting for. Mahabali never actually lost. He was tricked out of a kingdom? Sure. But everything you just watched, the flowers that mirror galaxies, the feast that erases every class line, the boats that only move when 100 strangers move as one, all of it is proof that his real kingdom was never the land. It was the people. And that kingdom he never gave up. It's still here. His people show up on doorsteps every single year, ready to welcome him home. Vishnu took the throne. He never got the throne back. Kerala did. That's Onam. Not a myth about losing. A 10-day proof that the people you love are the only kingdom worth keeping. If this changed the way you see Onam, hit like and subscribe. And I want to know, which part surprised you the most? The golden ratio flowers, the chemistry in the Payasam, or the physics behind the snake bones? Drop it in the comments. I read every one of them. See you in the next story.